everybody. Welcome back to African Xhosa ASMR. Based on the title, this is going to be a true crime ASMR video. For today's case, let us go to the second largest city in Free State province of South Africa. Can you guess what it is? Welkom. Welkom is located 140 kilometers northeast of Bloemfontein, which is one of the three capital cities of South Africa. Okay, enough about geography. Let us get right straight into today's case. The graveyard killers. The two monsters, Chane van Heerden and Martin van Merwe. Let's start with Shinee. Shinee was born and raised in Welkom. She had 3 siblings. Her parents' marriage was far from perfect, such that Shinee's mother was ready to call it quits around the time she was pregnant with Shinee. She was disgusted and profoundly repugnant towards Shinee because she was ready to leave, and now she is pregnant with Shinee, which meant she can't easily leave, according to her mind. As a result, after Shinee's birth, her mother did not bother bonding with her newborn baby. Shinee's mother would not bother feeding her nor showing her love and affection whenever she needed it. Shinee soon realized her mother despised her. As a matter of fact, they had a strained mother-daughter relationship. When Shinee was around, let's say, the age of 6, her parents eventually legally separated. Not long after her parents went their separate ways, Shinee's mother fell in love and she was caressed by a feckless man. Shinee's stepfather would physically assault Shinee's mother and Shinee's siblings as well, including her. Shinee could no longer take the violence and went to live with her father. I hear a car. Please. Let's wait for it. I think it's almost gone. Okay. I think it's gone. Let's just wait. When Shinee got to her father's house, she was shocked to find out that her dad had met and is now married to another woman. She could not stand her stepmother and tried by all means to get her stepmother separate. The stepmother did not reciprocate any hatred towards Shinee. Instead, she was sweet, kind, and loving towards Shinee. Shinee's stepmother tried by all means to build a relationship with Shinee, but Shinee was not here for it. When Shinee was about 7 years old, she grew an interest in fine arts. As she started drawing, she also grew an interest in the supernatural world. She was curious about Satan and cults. When she was around 9 years old, she went to her father and said, "Daddy, I can speak to the dead." Or at least she implied that she could talk to people no one else can see. Shinee's father immediately drove to Shinee's father's house. Shinee's father was a pastor, and he said to them, "Shinee has a demon," and Shinee's grandfather took Shinee to church where he could cast the demons out of her. Shinee's opa affected the demons out of her body in the presence of the church. Shinee claims that was one of the most humiliating moments of her life, and she said she felt like she was weird and an outsider. When she got home, she dove even deeper into the supernatural world. Shinee's father's worry grew stronger and stronger. He then decided to take her to a psychologist. The psychologist thought it could be depression. Shinee was given medication to improve her mood. The medication did not work at all. It made her feel even worse about herself. When she was 10 years, she pulled a knife on her stepmother and attempted to use it on her. Her stepmother tried to show Shinee affection, but Shinee rejected it. She thought her stepmother was faking it, and whenever her stepmother would show love towards Shinee, Shinee would get annoyed, angry, and frustrated. Shinee's father was worried sick about her daughter's mental state. He spoke to his wife about it. Shinee kept meeting up with the psychologist and was given more and more medication. The situation got worse and worse because Shinee now started inflicting harm on herself. Is it inflicting pain on herself and like harming herself? Yeah, that's what she did. Shinee's father and stepmother said perhaps she is craving her father's attention. She needs to spend more quality time with her father. Just Shinee and her dad. No one else. No one else. No one else. Shinee and her dad would go hunting together so that they could bond. Hunting was Shinee and Daddy activity. They would go hunting on weekends and holidays. Guess what? It worked. It worked. Hunting now became a damn bonding time. Shinee enjoyed every minute of it. Whenever they caught an animal, Shinee volunteered on skinning it. The sound the knife made when separating the skin from the flesh intensely satisfied Shinee. It was music to her ears. When she was busy doing this, a thought crossed her mind. Just wait. A thought crossed her mind when she was doing this. She began to wonder how it would feel like doing that to a human being. When she was a teenager, she started hanging out with the wrong crowd. That is when she was introduced to drugs. One time, after taking the drugs, a male acquaintance of hers essayed her. She never told a soul about the SA incidents. Soon after being SA'd, Shinee received the news that her mother divorced her abusive stepfather and got married again to another man. The new husband moved with Shinee's mother to New Zealand after they got married. This news tore Shinee to pieces. They broke her heart because she already felt rejected by her mother, and now she even left the country behind. Shinee's stepmother stepped in and made sure that Shinee felt loved and accepted. Shinee now came to realize that her stepmother really does love and care about her. They grew closer. Shinee did still find the supernatural world fascinating, and she met a man who told her that he was a Satanist and his group of friends practiced Satanism. Shinee was enthralled by what the man told her. She decided to join one of the Satan worship services, whatever they call it, with this guy, and soon got bored and completely lost interest in whatever it is that they were doing, because it's not what she thought it would be. Okay. By this time, she was dating this Satanist guy she met, and she continued to date even after losing interest and not joining their services. She then dropped out of high school and went to a fine arts school nearby because she didn't like the subjects which she took at school. She didn't enjoy maths, physics, accounting, geography, all the subjects that you can think of. So she went to a fine arts school where they learned nothing but fine arts. Everybody loved her in the new school because she was bubbly and always happy because she enjoyed fine arts, and finally she was doing what she loved. After this, she soon broke up with a boyfriend. At the age of 19, she graduated and got a job as a graphic designer. The money was great at her new job, and saying that Shinee loved her job would be an understatement. She enjoyed being a graphic designer. When she was around the age of 20, she got a new boyfriend who loved and adored her. His name was Warren. Warren's friend did not like Shinee, and his name was Roy. Roy claims that he felt like there was something off about Shinee, but he could not quite put a finger on it. But because he didn't know what he didn't like about her, he couldn't say anything to his friend because Shinee and Warren seemed to be in love, and he loved seeing his friend happy. One night, Roy, the friend, threw a party with all his friends invited. Warren took Shinee to the party. Whilst at the party, Shinee saw this other man, and it was love at first sight. However, she was in a serious relationship with Warren. She fought the urge to walk up to the mystery man and say hi, but she prayed that it was not the last time their paths would cross, and that they would meet again sometime in the future when the timing is right. She made a vow to herself that if ever they were to meet again in the future, she would gather enough strength to walk up to him and say something. On a random day, after the party, Shinee walked up to Warren, her boyfriend, and had the "it's not you, it's me" moment with him, and they broke up. This was a shock to Warren because they seemed happy and he was simping over Shinee, and he did everything in his power to make Shinee happy. So he did not understand why she would just Shinee. He too was born and raised in Welkom. His parents separated when he was young. Martin was such a sweet boy growing up. He was kind to other kids at school, but no one wanted to be his friend. He never understood why no one liked him, because he was a saint. He got rejected by everyone in his community. He was close with his parents though. As he grew older and around the age of 7, he told his father that he was seeing. What was that? What was that? What was that? What was it? What was it? Okay, I think it's done. When it was, do you hear that? I hear a car now. I hear a car. All these distractions. Okay. When Martin was around the age of 7, he told his father that he is seeing a dragon, and the dragon is telling him that it wants to make Martin the king of the world. And after becoming the king of the world, the dragon will again return to dethrone Martin. He would hallucinate, and his father took him to doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, all those kinds of doctors. And Martin was later diagnosed with schizophrenia. His mother became distant soon after Martin being diagnosed with schiz. Martin was medicated, and the medicine seemed to work because the episodes of delusion stopped soon after. When taking the medicine, he claimed that he would find peace in his head. Unfortunately, the other kids made fun of him at school. He was severely bullied. The bullying got severe such that he ended up dropping out of school and stayed at home. Whenever his father was at work and Martin was at home, there were cats from the neighborhood that would wander around the yard, Martin's yard, and Martin would watch as his family dog would unalive the cats. After the cats were unalive, Martin would take them and bury them. As Martin was holding the unalive cats, he began to wonder about the afterlife. Now he decided to stop burying the cats, and would collect them and place them somewhere so that he could watch them as they go through the various stages of decomposition. He would then go out looking for more cats around the neighborhood so that he could unalive them. Being unalive was fascinating. satisfied whenever he saw an animal that was unalive. His father told him he can't sit at home all day. He needs to get a job. His father was a carpenter, and he hired him at his job. Martin wanted to start his own company. He went to his father to borrow money. His father was happy and he loaned him the money. Martin started a furniture business of his own. The business thrived. Life was good. Martin was now confident and he felt like he was on top of the world. He stopped taking his medication. Martin moved out of his father's house into an apartment. He got a roommate, and the roommate was Roy, the guy who drew the other party. For Roy to welcome his new roommate into the apartment, he threw a party. So Roy now moved in with Martin, and Roy threw Martin a party because Roy was already living in the apartment and he wanted a roommate, and then the roommate ended up being Martin, the mystery man from the party. Shinee also attended the party of the roommate, but she had no idea who the roommate was. Now Shinee saw the same mystery man he saw from the previous party when she was still dating Warren. She had promised herself that she would walk up to him if ever she saw him again. Shinee kept her promise, the promise she made to herself. She walked up to Martin and started chatting with him. They hit it off, and after the party was over, Shinee remained behind, and they were all lovey-dovey towards each other and had a strong chemistry and immediately fell in love. As the relationship grew stronger and stronger, they realized that they had a lot in common, and they were both fascinated about the supernatural. Guess what? A place they called their happy place and enjoyed spending time together in was the graveyard. They claimed that they felt more alive in the graveyard and would have dates and even make love to one another in the graveyard. The thought of being surrounded by the dead was fascinating and captivating to them. Roy, the roommate, claims that Shinee and Martin once took him to a graveyard where they performed something that looked like a satanic ritual to him. He said, I hear a car, let's wait. Do you hear it? Do you hear the car? I hear a car. I hear a car. I hear a car. Roy went on to describe this ritual. He said that Martin and Shinee cut themselves and poured blood into a bowl and dipped 2 rings in this bowl filled with blood, and then exchanged vows and rings like they were getting married or something. He was in shock, and they explained nothing to him. He felt like it was as though they were making him a witness to their wedding. After this, Martin and Shinee grew closer and closer and started sharing their deepest, darkest secrets to one another because they did not fear being judged by one another. Martin's deep, darkest desire was to know how it felt like to unalive a human being. Shinee's deep, darkest desire, on the other hand, was to know how it felt like to skin one. They both agreed to turn their deep, darkest desires into a reality. They decided to move in together so that they can plan on how they will find their first victim without having to worry about roommates eavesdropping on them. Shinee had a diary where she documented how she will do it. She even wrote a couple of poems on how she imagined, and she described how it would feel like to actually do it. They had phase 1. Phase 1 of their plan was to buy 2 cats to practice on. They bought the 2 cats. Shinee took the first cat and Martin took the other one. Shinee took nails and crucified the first cat. The cat was somehow still alive. I don't feel comfortable describing what she further did to it and what Martin ended up doing to his cat. I'm not gonna do it, but I'm pretty sure you guys have an idea of exactly what they did. I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable describing it. Okay. They then moved on to phase 2. Phase 2 was to get a dog. was getting ready to go and buy the dog, Shinee said, No, 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 not a dog, not a dog. I would not do that to a dog, and I'm not going to sit back, stand, and watch you do that to a dog either. Over my dead body, we're not doing this to a dog. Martin said, Fine, let us not do it to a dog. Then it's now time to move on to the third and final phase. The third and final phase being them finding a human being. They decided to find their victim on a dating site. Shinee joined the dating site and she met a man named Michael van Heerden on the dating site. Michael was a technician at the Volcom mine. After getting to know each other and talking to each other online, Shinee proposed that they meet in person, and she said that the place they should meet in is the Volcom graveyard at 9 p.m. Michael was like, What? Isn't there a better place we can meet at? But Shinee said, Nope. I love the graveyard. It has a special place in my heart, and I want the first date to be there. On the 2nd of April in 2011, that morning, Michael went to his boss and told him that he met a girl online and they were going on a date, and their date is going to be at the Volcom graveyard later that day at 9 p.m. The boss tried to talk Michael out of it because that sounded like a major red flag to him. Michael was like, Don't worry, I got this. Michael had a black belt in karate and would go to the gym regularly, so he was into fitness and all. He also told his mother that he was going on a date, but he did not come clean with her. He said that they're just going out to a movie. Michael stayed with his mother, and Michael had a breakup with one of his long-term girlfriends. So Michael's mother was excited that Michael, was ready to move on and find a new girl. He was excited. She was excited for him, happy for him. Okay. Okay. So later that day, Michael drove to the graveyard where he met Shinee at around 8:55, and they started making their way to the date area. Before even coming to the date, Martin and Shinee were excited and started preparing the date area in the graveyard. They made a list of what they needed. This is what the list looks like. out of the car and began to walk towards the picnic spot with Shinee. When he got there were candles being lit up. Just looked like a creepy but innocent date to him. Michael thought it was going to be, just a candlelight dinner. They then started having a conversation, and Shinee later leaned in for a kiss. And then that is when Martin jumped out and struck Michael in the back with a knife. Martin struck Michael with a knife on the back 29 times. Michael showed off his, karate skills and was about to overpower Martin. Martin then called out to Shinee and said, "This man is difficult to unalive. Help me use the butcher knife." Michael was shocked because he thought he was defending his date. He had no idea that Shinee was in on it. Shinee grabbed the butcher knife and struck Michael 3 times. Michael's last words were, "They should just unalive him already." They unalived him and dismembered his body and stashed some of his limbs and head in a black plastic bag and buried the rest of his body parts in the graveyard. They buried his body parts in a shallow grave They used spoons to dug the grave. They cleaned the medicine and got into Michael's car and drove to the taxi rank and dumped the car there with the keys still on the ignition. They hoped that someone would steal Michael's car and Michael's death would then be pinned to whoever steals the car. The next day, on the 3rd of April in 2011, the graveyard workers, were just going to work, and then they saw a pool of blood in the graveyard entrance. They followed the trail of blood to where it stopped, and they were not sure if it was blood of a human or an animal, or like what it was exactly. So they called the police. Around the same time the graveyard workers were calling the police, there were people at the taxi rank who also called the police to let them know about the car that is abandoned with the keys still on the ignition. Michael's mother in the morning saw that it looked like Michael didn't come back the night before, but she thought maybe he woke up early that morning to go to work. So she decided to call Michael's job to ask whether Michael was in or not that day. But Michael's boss said Michael never showed up to work that morning. Michael's boss went on to tell Michael's mother about the graveyard date, and Michael's mother said, "No, they didn't go to a graveyard. They went to a movie, and the boss said nope. The mother immediately called the police. The car at the taxi rank was identified by police as Michael's car. The police went with the search dogs to the graveyard. They were accompanied by Michael's mother. Michael's mother told them everything, so that's why they drove to the graveyard. Michael's mother came across his son's t-shirt that he was wearing when he went out to the date, and it was covered in blood. She began to cry. She was worried sick about Michael, praying and hoping that he's still alive. This one of the search dogs went to a freshly dug grave and sat on it. Forensics dug and saw the decapitated body parts, and the head was missing. Michael's mother, wasitsho esofelweyo, and Michael's father was called in to identify the body to see if it was Michael's body. Michael's father saw a birthmark, and he instantly knew that unfortunately the body belongs to his son. The case was handled by a detective who has worked on other occult-related cases previously. He went to Michael's home to see. He took Michael's phone to see the last person Michael was in contact with before the graveyard incident. On the other side, Martin, Shinee's boyfriend, went to Shinee's father and asked for his blessing to marry his daughter. The father gave him his blessing, but he told him that they were still young to get married and maybe they should not rush into things. After all, Shinee was only just 20 years old, and Martin was 5 years older than Shinee, meaning that he was 25 years of age. About 4 days after Michael's murder, and this was on the 5th of April in 2011, the police were able to gain access to Martin's phone, and they saw Shinee's number. They tried to call Shinee, but she did not pick up that day. But they kept calling and calling and calling. Later that evening, she eventually did pick up the phone call. The police said it was the hospital calling, and there is a girl who listed Shinee as her emergency contact, and this girl was involved in a car accident, and the doctors want to operate on her, but they want Shinee to come and identify her before they could operate on this mystery girl. And then Shinee told Martin about it, and they both went to the hospital. When they got there, they were immediately arrested. They were both arrested for the murder of Michael van Heerden. They were separated from each other and were taken on 2 different police vans to the police station. Shinee pleaded with the police to have one final moment with Martin before, they go their separate ways, but the police said, nope, that's not gonna happen. Whilst driving back to the police station, Shinee told the police to drive to her house so that she could show them the rest of Martin's body. The police agreed. She went straight into the fridge and pulled out a container containing Michael's facial skin, and she handed it to the police and said to them, "I had always wanted to know what it felt like to skin a human being." The facial skin looked like a mask. She went on to show the police other containers containing other body parts. The police claimed that she looked like she was proud of what she had done. The police also found Shinee's diary. She described in the diary everything she did, and she also described how she planned or what she did to Michael. Martin also confessed to everything. He even confessed that they stole 100 rands that Martin had with him, and he claimed they planned on using the money for buying spades, because using spoons for digging the hole was kind of strenuous and tedious. So Martin took the police to his backyard and showed them where he buried the rest of the body parts they took home with them. And it was the same place they used to bury the two cats. Shinee's father rushed to the police station to see what was going on. Why was his daughter being arrested? He demanded the police to let her go immediately because she was innocent. The police told him that she actually confessed to everything. The father demanded to speak with her. Shinee looked at her father dead in the eyes and said, "It's something I've always wanted to do since I was 3 years old." What? I wanted to do it. I did it. I would do it again. Chane van Heerden and Martin van Merwe were arrested for the murder, robbery, and mutilation of a corpse. Shinee showed no remorse. Martin claimed that he was not satisfied after unaliving Michael and wrote a letter of apology to Michael's family. As he was reading the letter in court, Michael's mother kept shaking her head from side to side as though she's like, "No, you can't do this to my son and then come back to write a letter. I mean, assume that everything will be okay and everything will go back to normal." Martin agreed to meet with psychologists and psychiatrists so that they could examine him if he was fit for court before the trial, because he suffered from schizophrenia. And when he met with the doctors, he even confessed to the doctors that after Michael, they were planning on finding their next victim. On the other hand, Shinee did not want to meet with any psychiatrist and any psychologist. No doctors. She didn't want to meet with the doctors. She said she did it and she enjoyed doing it. If she had an opportunity to do it over again, she would. And she showed no remorse. Even when she was in court, she just didn't care. She seemed proud of what she had done. Both Chane van Heerden and Martin van Merwe pled guilty to the murder of Michael van Eck. Shinee was sentenced to years behind bars for the murder of Michael and 15 years for robbery. When she had completed her sentence, she will have to plead her case with the judge as into why she should be released into society. She will also be evaluated to see if she's fit enough to be, to interact with the rest of the society. Okay. On the other hand, Martin was found guilty for the murder as well, and he got an additional 10 years for robbery and 5 years for mutilation of